All right, we are live. Here we go. What's going on, guys? So I don't know how long this video is going to be. It might be long. I don't expect you to watch. I mean, if you do, you're a legend. But this video is, I'm just going to dumb down the main points right now, just in case you don't want to watch the whole video. This is kind of my final goodbye to CBW. I'm going to talk about how the channel started, what got me into wrestling, and what prompted me to start CBW, all of the history. We're going to give thanks to everyone that's ever been involved in CBW, as in our partners and other YouTube channels, as in to everyone who's ever been in CBW before. And it's going to be all that, and we're going to have a discussion of the future of this channel, because I'm not going to stop uploading on the channel. In a couple days, I'm going to leave it for the next couple days, but in the next couple days, I'm going to change the whole channel. I'm changing the channel's name. I'm changing the channel's art, the thumb, like everything. The whole channel is going to be rebranded to Jacob Wayne. I'm going to be rebranding the channel into a gym and fitness content, and I'm really excited to do it. And we're going to get all into that and the future of this channel, because the future of this channel also doesn't mean it's just going to be gym content. You know, we're thinking of starting a podcast, doing challenges, vlogs, like literally whatever the guys want to upload, we're going to upload. But this is just kind of, for me, this is just going to be kind of my goodbye to the channel. I'm going to talk about the history just because, you know, there's been I'm not going to edit this footage. It's just going to be real, you know, just me talking. So that's pretty much going to be the preface of this video. This is my goodbye. This is to help me just to kind of put it all out there, say goodbye, tell the story, and then so we can move on to the next chapter of this channel. So that's what's going to happen today. So, wow, where do we begin? It all began when I was in 6th grade. And actually before that, I was in a very small elementary school with only 20 kids, from kindergarten to 6th grade, same 20 kids. So very, very small, and it was really cool. You know, we all knew each other, and there was another kid in the class. I'm sure you guys might see him later. I won't say his name, but he was into wrestling. He was known as the WWE kid. He would come and talk about like, oh yeah, me and my dad, we watch wrestling. You know, my favorite is Rey Mysterio. I was like, yeah, that guy in the mask. Yeah, cool. I didn't get into it. It wasn't until, that was like in 4th grade. In 6th grade, you know, all you 2010s kids know that, you know, you're on your iPad or computer, you're scrolling on YouTube. I know, 2012 YouTube, interesting place. And, you know, I was just scrolling and it popped up on my feed. And I was like, oh, I remember, yeah, the kid in my class was talking about this. So I started watching videos, watching. I remember watching WWE video games, like the old Royal Rumbles, like custom characters. This is back in 2011 or 12, long time ago. So the games weren't even like that good. But then I watched dual wrestling. I watched John Cena. He was my first favorite. I loved Sheamus. He was really cool. I loved CM Punk. I loved Jeff Hardy. All those guys, they were all super, super cool. I remember watching old stuff, new stuff. It was, you know, it was really, really cool. And I remember getting into it, starting learning the people, learning the names, learning the moves, and really all of that. And I remember, I don't really remember exactly what I watched, of course, because, you know, I was like 12 or 13, maybe even younger. I remember watching a bunch of Royal Rumbles. 2008 Royal Rumble where Cena won. I watched that. I remember watching the CM Punk and Jeff Hardy steel cage match. I watched the Eddie Guerrero versus Rey Mysterio, the custody ladder match of Dom. I watched that. I watched all sorts of stuff. I remember hours just watching all these videos. I liked the Rumbles. It helped me kind of learn everybody, but yeah. So that's how I started. But I didn't get into it. That was like a 1 or 2 day thing. I kind of left it. I learned everyone. I'm like, yeah, cool, yeah. And then I left it, okay? A couple weeks, or even might even been a couple months went by, and I was just scrolling on the TV one night, and Monday Night Raw popped up. So I was like, oh, all right. I remember that. Yeah, I watched it. I clicked on it, and the first thing I saw, CM Punk talking crap about The Rock. I think that was going into the Elimination Chamber, their fight in 2013. I think. And yeah, they were just talking all sorts of smack. I remember thinking so cool. Cena came on, had a match. I thought it was like, oh my god, because at the time John Cena was my favorite. And yeah, I started watching it every week. I started talking about it at school. I became more of like the wrestling kid because that kid stopped watching it, and then I started watching it. So I watched it all of 2013, but I stopped 2014. So from the year 2014 to 2015, I was kind of like, that's why when I say 2014 WWE, I was like, what the like, I honestly didn't watch WWE in 2014, so all of that's like a blur. I didn't even know Batista won the Rumble. I didn't know who main evented Mania. Part of the reason was because I didn't like Daniel Bryan. Now I do. I don't hate me, but when I was a kid, I didn't really like Daniel Bryan. Thought he was kind of meh. You know, nowadays I love watching Daniel Bryan. You know, I think he's definitely one of the best to ever do it. But in 2013, when they started pushing Daniel Bryan and stopped pushing John Cena, I was like, eh. But that's just me, because I like Cena and he got injured, and Randy Orton too. I love Randy Orton these days, but back in the day, I thought he was like, it's kind of boring. He's just Orton. Like. But yeah, yeah, and then I went to my first WWE live show. It was Randy Orton versus Daniel Bryan. It was in 2013. And The Shield came in, and I know you guys remember that. It was almost, God, it's more than 10 years ago now. Yeah, so, but like I said, I moved to a new school. And middle school and high school was really hard for me. It was hard making friends. Like I said, 20 kids in that elementary school class. And then I get thrown into this big middle school. It was hard for me to make friends. And it was just really bad for me. But one thing that I always looked forward to was coming home, jumping on my trampoline, and practicing wrestling moves. That was something I did almost every single day. That's why I'm just so, like, ever since I was a kid to now, I'm just naturally good at the trampoline and, like, doing tricks and stuff, because I spent a majority of my life on the trampoline, jumping, doing tricks, and, you know, all of that. And although I did stop watching wrestling, I don't know. I used to just always practice the moves, and I just really like the art of it, if you will, and all of that. So that all happened, and luckily, in high school, I ended up getting back into wrestling, or it might have been freshman year or eighth grade or somewhere around there, eighth grade summer maybe. I ended up getting back into wrestling. It was 2015. And I had to really catch up on everything. I was like, oh, Daniel Bryan won, and then Seth won, and I had to get all the info out. So, and you see Triple H, The Authority. I love Triple H. He's one of my favorites too. And yeah, so then I got back into wrestling 2015 when Seth Rollins was the world champion. And then I started watching, and then like Braun Strowman came and joined the Wyatt family, and then, Roman Reigns and Sheamus were fighting for the title, and then ever since then, really, I've never stopped watching wrestling. From 2015 on. So I watched all of 2013, 2014's a blur, 2015 on, I'm watching wrestling almost every week. And yeah, and then after, I ended up leaving that old high school, and I went to a new high school. And this new high school, the one that's closest to my city, to my home, is where I met pretty much a lot of my friends that I still know to today. William being one of them, and I'll get to that. So I have a gaming channel. I always loved creating and putting, content creating has always just been really fun to me. And along with fitness too. In middle school, I started really exercising, and I didn't start gaining size until college, but I mean, I love just being active. I loved being active. So, high school goes along. It's a little rough here and there, but it's definitely better than where I was in middle school. And it all led to a point where I was watching, and then this thing called AEW started. And I was like, oh, this is cool. I started watching AEW. This brand new company came up. They're introducing these titles, all these characters coming in, all these new people. And that really, I was watching WWE clearly, but like it really unleashed like a new spark in wrestling. When AEW started, that was a spark in wrestling that has never seen before. Gasoline was everywhere, but AEW lit the spark that was like, whoa, And I think that's definitely what started something. I really got into wrestling after AEW started. That's 100%. I'm an AEW rat. I mean, recently they've been, but yeah, I'm an AEW rat. I've been following since All In, the first one, like in 2018. So ever since then. So after that, I got a flashback here. When I was in middle school, one of my only friends, like I said, I struggled making friends, but in middle school, high school, one of my only friends, I would only look forward my day to leaving school, coming home, jump on the trampoline for a little, have fun, and then go play Xbox with one of my Xbox friends. His name is Harley, and he, although he's an Xbox friend, he was truly one of my only friends, like during that whole time period. And I still talk to him. I'm still keep in touch with him today, of course. So Xbox friends could be real friends, I promise. But and I actually got him into WWE as well. And it might have been 2019, 2018, 2017, I don't know. But there was a time where he invited all of his friends over and he sent me all these videos. He said, Jacob, look, I had me and my friends come over and we all did this. And they built a ring in their front yard. It was in the grass. They just had like 4 poles for like the ring posts and crappy little ropes around it. And they just wrestled on the grass. And I thought, that is so cool. I want freaking friends to do that. And then that got my mind thinking, like, so AEW starting and my buddy doing that. I was like, God, that'd just be so fun to do. So then here's what happened. I decided, my stepdad is in the military and he was always traveling everywhere. So whenever he would come and visit my mom and me, it was always kind of a big deal. And I wanted to do like a cool little show. I wanted to do something cool for him when he got here. So I got with Makai and I was like, hey, Makai, I have an idea. Let's have a little show for him and let's like have a wrestling match. Do you think that'd be cool? And he was like, whatever. So he came over and, he was like doing his own thing, like the whole ninja stuff. And I think I dressed up as Jeff Hardy for that fight. But yeah, we had a whole fight. And I remember it was nighttime and it turned night and it was hard to see. So we put our phones up trying to put light and yeah, total DIY, but that was a lot of fun. I like to consider that the first CBW thing, even though that was very, very like a year or two before CBW even happened. I like to consider that the first ever CBW match. I won that, by the way. I'm just joking. Okay, so that happened. And me and Makai had fun, as whatever. Also, if you don't know, I met Makai when I was in 4th grade. I've known Makai a long time. Probably one of my longest friends ever, actually. And yeah. I also had a couple neighbor friends who would come over and we'd wrestle on the trampoline too. I've always just been on that trampoline, man. Like, always. And anyways, so all of that happened. And it was the summer of 2019. And I was just, laying on the bed, scrolling on YouTube again. And then something comes up on my feed and I was looking at it and I was like, I remember watching this when I was a little kid. It was KBW. It was that like little 15-man Royal Rumble. They're jumping off roofs on the trampoline. I watched that when I was a kid when I started getting into wrestling. It has millions of views. You've probably seen it. And I watched that. And I was like, that is so cool. All of their little friends, they all get together, play characters. They all have titles. That is just awesome. And then that moment is when the thought came into my head, what if I did that? Seemed impossible at the time, but I thought to myself, you know, I have a gaming YouTube channel. I throw out videos here and there, right? But like I never really thought of that, you know? Like what if I bought a camera? What if we did editing? What if we all played characters, all of us together, like a community? Like what if I had all these ideas? I didn't act on it right away. I wanted to let it sit for a couple of days and really think about it. If one, what is this? And two, can we do this? And is this something I really want to do? After a couple of days of thinking about it, I thought, you know what? Maybe we can. Maybe we can try. Like, maybe. What if, right? And I started thinking about, like, okay, if I'm going to create my own backyard wrestling channel, what could be the name? It needs to have a good name. So I spent a day thinking about the name. And I swear to gosh, this is how I thought of the name. I was playing Xbox and I was trying to think of the name. And then I looked at the video game I was playing and it was Crash Bandicoot. It was like the fourth one. It wasn't Warped. It was Crash, like the newer one that came out a couple years ago. I think it was the Time one. Crash Bandicoot 4 Out of Time or Time something. It came out a couple years ago. And I remember I was playing it, like Crash Bandicoot Wrestling. Crash Backyard Wrestling. Huh. Has a good ring to it. What's the initials? CBW. Oh my God, that actually kind of works. CBW. Oh my God. I swear to gosh, that is how I created the name of CBW. Crash Backyard Wrestling came from Crash Bandicoot. I know, it's crazy, but that's literally how I came up with the name. And that was that. So I had the name, I had the idea for it. Now we need the people. So first person I called was the person who I actually had, obviously you guys saw, a match with before, a year or two prior. I've had wrestling matches on the trampoline with Makai before. So he's the first person I called. I called Makai and I said, hey Makai, I have this idea. What if we created a backyard wrestling YouTube channel? We all have our own characters. We can freedom, do whatever you want. We all have championships to fight for. We can make stories. We can just do all this stuff. What do you think? And he said maybe I might not have time. I don't know. He says he didn't shoot it down, but he kind of did. And I was like, okay. So then I called William. I was like, hey, William, I have this idea. Backyard wrestling. We make our own character. And he's like, stop right there. I'm in. It's like, yeah, okay. Pretty easy. So I started, asking around. One of my only friends I met in middle school that I still know to today, one of the only good people from that school was John, who you guys know as the punk and goth drug dealer. I asked him. He said he'd do it. I asked Makai. And I had this whole list of people. And I met William in high school during this time, so we weren't like that close yet. But I knew him. I knew a bunch of people from this new high school. And I started asking people. And at the time, I probably had 30 people tell me yes, they'd do it. I had almost like 25 to 30 people tell me, yeah, Jacob, I'll do it. That sounds fun. So my mind started going crazy. I was like, okay, we're going to have this big Royal Rumble to start it, crown a champion. We're going to have another champion. I had like all these things planned out. We're going to have a mid-card title, a tag title. My mind just raced with all this stuff. And then I like, all right, guys, First filming day, we're actually, no, it wasn't even a filming day. It was a practice day. I said, all right, guys, we're going to have a rehearsal day. I want everyone to come. We're going to rehearse a Royal Rumble or like a big match. So everybody come. Makai and John were the only ones to show up for the rehearsal day. I swear that is what it was. So I was a little let down, but I was like, you know what? We're going to make the best of it. So myself, Makai, and John, we all went into the back, found uncopyrighted music. We went out and we practiced a match. It was a triple threat ladder match to crown the first ever CBW world champion. And William was actually supposed to be there and he wanted to be there, but the reason he didn't is because he overslept. Yeah, so William wasn't even there first day. So we practiced the match and we were ready. So then the week after, a week after, we had a little live crowd and we had the first ever video to crown a first ever CBW world champion. William did actually come to that, but we already practiced the match and it was already ready. So we had him be the referee, and that's how his character of the corrupt referee started. And yeah, we had our first little match. And I won, and I became the first ever CBW world champion. Me and Makai fought, and I look back at it, and I think it was I don't know. I'm not proud of a lot of the earlier stuff I did. I mean, we were all young, being dumb, you know. But it is what it is. What happened, and it was a lot of fun. And after that is when I met Paul. I met Paul in one of my advanced theater classes because I had a little match with William, and William was like, hey man, we should get more people. So then we asked Paul. I didn't even know Paul that well at all. I was like, hey, Paul, I was wondering, we're friends here, right? Yeah. Do you want to be a backyard wrestler? He said, sure, sounds fun. So he drove over to my house and we filmed. And I actually let him beat me for the world championship because, kids in the advanced theater class where we met were actually watching the channel. So I thought it'd be a cool little thing. And plus, I thought it would, we didn't know him that well. And I thought, you know what, I want to respect him enough to, and give him something, right? So he came over, he beat me. And then after that, that's when Aaron came up, and he actually came up to me and was like, Jacob, I saw your wrestling channel and I want in. I was like, oh, all right. And then I made him champion like pretty fast after, after debuting. And then after that, Aaron and William kind of became friends, and we decided to pair them together as the bad guys of the channel. And then me and Makai were kind of the good guys, and that's what led to Outbreak, where the first big tag team fight. And honestly, I don't know if you have to even start talking. The rest is kind of history. COVID hit, and then, that kind of gave us more time to do backyard wrestling. So we started doing more and more backyard wrestling, and more people came, like Jason Domino, Skater Boy Felix, Captain Murica, if you guys remember that video, Noah, Tank came, Orville and Spitfire ended up joining. And the rest is really history. The rest is really history. You guys probably know it if you've been around watching the channel for this long. And the peak of CBW was probably 2020 or 2021, I would say. That's when we had a huge, an over 15-person roster. We had over 15 wrestlers on our roster, and it was huge. I didn't expect CBW to go the direction it did, but it did go into a different direction, and I think it was just the best it can be. And I truly do think the peak of CBW was during that time. I was world champion during that time, so I'm very humble and I'm thankful for that and all of that. And through that, during our peak, we ended up having talks with the other YouTube channels. I actually was searching around trying to find backyard wrestling channels that were in our size. And I ended up finding one called WCF. I left a comment on their channel saying, "Hey, Savior, world champ, you're not as good as me." And then they privately reached out to me, and we started discussing how we can make it happen. And we discussed, okay, maybe in a later date came, and we worked it out where me and William will fly over there and have matches for them, and we will collab. And that led to, as you guys saw, me versus Savior. And me versus all of our matches were honestly incredible, amazing, and I'm very fortunate and lucky to have those matches with those people. They were incredible to work with, and I hope we can stay friends rest of our lives. But me versus Savior was a really hyped match, and two world champions from two different companies colliding. It was like insane, and that was probably my favorite match. I think. I watch it and I can tell I messed up here and there and stuff, but yeah. But the story and also the match itself, we landed all of our moves good, and I just think it was a really good fight. And me and Savior is probably my favorite match. And that was that. We all hung out, watched WrestleMania that year. Yeah, I think that was 2021. And that was all great and awesome. And then after that, we started the partnership we got BTW's attention. So then I flew out there, had a couple matches with them. I had a lot of matches with BES. And that was great. They let us keep the Continental Championship. We came home. And then CBW started taking a little bit of a bad turn. So Aaron dropped the world title and blocked all of us. And I don't want to bring up old stuff. We don't know why he did that, but, still wish him nothing but love. But that happened, and I think that just really started tanking CBW a lot. We gave the title to Makai, and it was all great. And then Marshall Paul came in, and we decided to give him his big world title reign that lasted, I think a full year, actually. So all of 2022 was Marshall Paul. And then they came over, BTW came over here to film stuff. And then me, William, and Paul flew out to BTW to film stuff in 2022, which was a lot of fun. And then Paul let me know that he wanted to retire. So then we decided to give the title to me, then to Orville. Orville had his great reign. And then Orville dropped it when we did WrestleThrone. WrestleThrone was our Hail Mary. We knew we were probably ending soon, and we just wanted a big giant show to try and close out CBW. And BTW came over, and we had an amazing couple matches there. And we're really satisfied with WrestleThrone and everything about it. We think it was great, and it was our great Hail Mary. Having RJS as our world champion is huge. We're very honored for that. And again, our partnership with BTW, we've been over there twice. They've come over here twice, and we love them. They're great guys, and they're very talented wrestlers. Very, very talented wrestlers. And we want to thank them a lot for everything that they've done for us. And we reached a point after WrestleThrone where we said, you know what? We're all going to graduate college soon. And it is, like I said, the peak of CBW, we're not on our way down. We had a great WrestleThrone. If we have a great finish off our characters, I think I'm at least content with that. So we reached that about a year ago, that we wanted to end CBW. And we decided, all of us. Also, another big reason we ended CBW is that it got to the point where there was only 4 of us. Felix stopped, Jason stopped, Aaron obviously stopped, Paul stopped. We only had 4 guys. This whole last year of CBW, we've only had 4 guys. Me, Spitfire, Clarence, William, and Orville, Aiden. And we only had these 4 guys. And yeah, I mean, how much can you do for 4 guys? So we all got together and talked, and we said, what will be satisfying for everyone here? And everyone discussed it, and we all decided, you know what? This is what each individual one of us said, this is what we want to do, and we'll be satisfied. So we made everything happen. We had one last final show, and that was it. And it's hard to believe that it is over, but it's also kind of not. Like I said, the peak CBW was already here. We're already on our way down. We only have 4 people on a roster. It's kind of forced at this point. And, you know, I've been wrestling so long, I'm just kind of little burnt out. You know, I even tried pro wrestling training, and that really burnt me out too. I proved I can do it, obviously, but it's just, I rather destroy my body physically in the gym and get as big as possible and strong as possible. That interests me more than destroying my body and taking all these meaningless L's for no reason. Because there's a small chance I'll even get into WWE or AEW anyways, right? So, it's like rock bands. How many of them actually make it? 0.0001%. So, yeah. Is what it is. It is what it is. Pro wrestling, pro training, pro wrestling will always be there if I ever want to go back. And I might. That's an option. But as for the backyard wrestling, it's not childish, but it is. I don't know. We're just kind of done. We've told our stories, and it's time to end. So that's really the complete history of CBW. CBW really helped me bring out who I am. I struggled a lot with characters. I love playing different characters, you know. At one point, I was like a gangster guy. Now I was a sheriff at one point. We played so many different characters, and it was a lot of fun. But I think definitely this Wayne Incorporated stuff, and that really was what I was trying to figure out, and then I finally figured it out, and I'm really happy with that. I'm comfortable doing the Wayne Incorporated stuff forever, actually. So, you know, just doing CBW and wrestling, editing, and creating titles for people to win, creating stories, everything. It was just so much fun, and it interests me so much. And that's why I'm really excited to dive into fitness content and really just everything else in the future. So anyways, we're going to give thanks to everyone. You know, thanks to William, thanks to John, Pumpkin God Jugular, thanks to Makai. We got to give thanks to my mom for helping film and everything. We got to give thanks to all the people who've come in the live crowd shows. We got to thank Paul. We got to thank Aaron. We wouldn't be here without Aaron and Paul. So thank you guys so much for doing. I would love to stay friends with you and be friends with you guys for the rest of my life. And if you're listening to this, I hope we can be friends. And, you know, thanks to Felix, thanks to Jason, thanks to Tank, Captain Murica, Onslaught, thanks to, oh God, I hope I don't miss anyone's names. That weird ref guy, Spencer, he was in a couple videos. Thanks to everyone. I also want to give specifics. You know, I want to say thank you to WCEF. And I wanted to say thank you to BTW. I wanted to say a big thanks to BTW. Thanks to ACW. Thanks to, oh man. Thanks to there's so many people, you know, that are out that we could thank. But, you know, CBW has grown from something small, a tiny little a tiny little thought in my bedroom, to this big thing. I remember getting 10 subscribers and thinking, I made it. I remember being so excited that I hit 10 subscribers. And then I hit 20, 30, 50. And I was like, oh my God, this is freaking crazy. And then 100. And I was like, no way. I was, you know, I'm just so humble and thankful that we're almost even at 1,000. That just means the world to me. I can't believe a couple kids backyard wrestling hit almost 1,000 subscribers. It's just insane. It's incredible. And I'm beyond thankful to you guys. For those of you who stuck around with us, even this last year when we've only had 4 guys, thank you very much. So thank you to the fans as well. And like I said, CBW really helped bring me out, toughen me up. I really think CBW really turned me from a boy to a man in many ways. And it gave me a lot of experience in many different aspects. And it helped me be really confident. It helped me gain so much knowledge. And I'm just beyond thankful. But like I said, the peak was as peak as years ago. I've kind of grieved it now. I'm just over it. I'm just ready to dive into fitness content because exercising and working out has been a big passion of mine. I've been bullied in the past and made fun of for being skinny and small and not good enough. And exercising, working out, being the biggest in the room, being the strongest in the room, always improving my diet, everything. I've just fallen in love with it, and it's a big passion of mine. And I have a big want to help people. I want to help you guys. Because I see too many people in the gym that are working out incorrectly and wrong. Not only they're wasting their money, but they're wasting their time and their effort. And if they put in their time and effort in the correct way, that's why I'm getting personal training certified, because I just want to help you guys. I want to help people exercise because it's a beautiful thing. And God tells us to have a good physical body to exercise, so all of that is because I want to honor God. I want you guys to honor yourselves, and I want to help you guys. And I'm really excited to do the how-to videos. I'm really excited to just post, even if it's me and Clarence deadlifting and maxing out. That stuff inspires me to go to the gym. And I know that'll inspire you guys too, or I hope it does. So yeah. And it's not only that, I want this channel and I want all my work I put into CBW to be worth it. We have an audience. We almost have 1,000 subscribers, and I want to keep going, but I want it to be worth it. I want to have purpose. I want this channel to have worth for purpose. And that's why I am decided that I want to put inspirational stuff out there. I want to inspire people. And that's a big reason we've decided we're going to start up our own podcast. We really want to help people. And I think putting our views out there on, everything would really do amazing things. Because we want to inspire, we want to be good people. We want to inspire you guys to be good people for God, for your family, for friends. And I think helping you guys, putting positivity out on the internet would be a great thing. It would do great with us, for our lives too, and I'm just really excited to do that. Not only podcast, fitness content, if the guys want to upload anything else, they can. But yeah, I want to say thank you, because doing CBW has meant the world to me, and the fact it even got to this far it just boggles my mind. And I'm just insanely grateful. So thank you to all of you for everything. But CBW is done full time. We could always come back and do a show later, but as of now, CBW is done. And yeah, I'm going to be moving the channel to doing fitness content. I'll leave the channel how it is for like 3 days, but just to kind of say goodbye. And then after a couple days are up, I'm going to change the channel's name. I'm going to completely rebrand the channel. And it is going to be a Jacob Wayne gym and fitness content channel. And I hope that this fitness content will inspire you guys and help you guys achieve what you guys want to do with your bodies, with your minds and everything. That's my main goal. I want to inspire and I want to help people. That's it. That's all I want to do. So yeah, I think that's about it. I'm not emotional about this because, I've kind of already grieved it. CBW, in my eyes, it ended at the peak when we had like 15, 20 people on the roster and we were, had all these titles and everyone's going crazy. That was our peak and it ended, and it is kind of what it is, you know? So as great as CBW was, and as great to see my vision, everyone else's vision come to life, it is what it is, and it's time for CBW to end. And it's time for this channel and for our lives to move into a different direction. And because I don't think backyard wrestling really, it's fun, but it doesn't really help people, does it? I want to do fitness content to help people and to inspire people. And I think this will do some really good in the world, especially our podcast coming up and all this stuff. So I'm really excited for the future of this channel. And if there's any videos that you guys want to see, you can comment down. Yeah. So yeah, couple days. I'll leave the channel for a couple days, but then after a couple days, I'm gonna completely rebrand the channel to a Jacob Wayne gym and fitness channel. And yeah, should be it. So yeah. I don't really know what else to say. Thank you guys so much for 5 years. This has been an incredible 5 years. I wouldn't have wanted it any other way. And I'm happy and thankful that it happened the way it did. Thank you to everyone who made this possible. And yeah, don't be sad that CBW is ending, because we did the best we could. And I think we ended it on a really good high note. And we can always come back and do it again in a couple years. Or maybe this, I don't know. Right now it's ended. We're all burnt out. We're all taking a break. It's over. CBW's done. And, look forward to it, because new content is coming. New and different content is coming. And I hope this inspires you guys. And, you can follow me at Jacob MF Wayne on Instagram. Jacob Wayne I'm on TikTok too, Twitter. I'm on pretty much everything. And yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed. If you watch this whole video, I'm actually very impressed. But yeah, thank you to everyone for an incredible 5 years. And it's time for CBW to end. But like I said in the video after me and William's final match, the spirit of CBW will never die. There's a reason that ECW is still being chanted to this day, and it hasn't been around in like 20 years. The spirit of CBW will always live on. Through me, through William, through Clarence, through Aiden, through Paul, through all of us, Doesn't matter in what light you guys see us or see me, because because even though CBW is ended, the spirit of CBW will always live on. And it will continue to live on through me, through the rest of my and our lives, leading on to this really exciting next chapter of this channel and of our lives, where our new goal is to help people and inspire people through gym and fitness content. So, other than that, I think that's it. Thank you guys for watching. Help us reach 1,000. And other than that, thank you so much for the support. And I'll see you guys later. Thank you.